Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're excited to have you, and as people are coming in, we're just going to wait another couple of minutes for everyone to join from wherever they're connecting from. Ellie, how are you today?
I am doing so good. I'm super excited for this. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm great. I've actually been waiting for this webinar for a long time. I think everyone can probably tell in the office how excited I am about our AI features webinar. It's been transformational for a lot of the clients who we work with. So I'm excited about you showing everything, giving the demo. If you don't know us or you're not familiar with us, I'm Talia. I work at Canditech. I manage the strategic relations, and we have here the amazing Ellie. Ellie heads our customer success at Canditech. She's been at Canditech for years, and she is Canditech. So I'm so grateful for you taking the time to be with us today, Ellie.
Yeah, absolutely. How can I follow that up? I am Canditech. Our whole team is Canditech. But no, yeah, equally, I'm super excited. I think AI is really transforming the way we think, the way we work, and of course, with that, it has to transform the way that we hire too. So I know it's the talk of the town, and yeah, I'm super excited to showcase the new features that we have in the platform.
Give us a spoiler. What feature are you most excited about?
It's got to be the AI scoring. It's got to be. It's the game changer. They're all game changers, but this is absolutely the game changer.
Absolutely. I agree. I love setting up the AI agents and no more spoiler alerts, but we'll show you all how to do that in just a couple of minutes. And I think we're just about ready to get started. Are we good to go, Ellie?
Yeah, everything's good from my end, sure.
All right. So without further ado, welcome everyone to our AI features webinar. We're excited to have you. Ellie, I'm handing it over to you. Just feel free to direct message me or a guy in the background any questions you have via chat, or you can add them in the Q&A section and we'll answer everything at the very end. But this is all about you and for you. So we're here to answer your questions. We want to hear them all. So yeah, just send them over to us and let's get started.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Talia. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen. And we will just start with a presentation. So first of all, everyone, thank you so much for taking the time joining us on this webinar. Of course, spoiler alert, this is really going to be focusing on our brand new suite of AI tools we've added to the platform. They've been really a game changer so far, and we're hoping they can also be a game changer for your hiring processes. And I was super excited to see some of the attendees. I saw that we have some very long-standing legacy clients. We got some new clients and some hopefully soon-to-be clients. So genuinely, thank you all so much for taking the time terms of a quick introduction for those that don't already know me, so I'm Ellie. I'm the head of customer success at Canditech. I've been with Canditech for coming up to 3.5 years. I've been working in HR tech in general for around 3.5 years, for around 6.5 years, sorry. And yeah, I also have a background in recruitment as well. So I love to really get involved with our clients from everything in their hiring process and support them throughout everything that they need. In terms of just a quick overview of the agenda for today, so we're going to be doing, first of all, a little introduction into Canditech, just for those that aren't familiar with the platform, but specifically, like I said, really focusing in on our new suites, I think you can call that, of AI technologies. Following that, I'll do a really quick live demo just to actually show you what these features look like inside the platform. And by the way, if any of you don't already have the AI features in your platform and you would like them, then you can always reach out to the team and we'll be able to get that set up for you. Following that, we'll definitely go through some best practices, both in terms of really understanding how to work with the AI and building effective AI agents. And of course, there'll also be some time for some Q&A for any burning questions that you have. Just in general, in terms of Canditech, for those that aren't familiar, so we are a very all-in-one holistic skills assessment platform working in all corners of the earth in multiple languages, a whole host of different industries, use cases, and lots of different hiring processes. We work with many, many clients all over the world, all the way from some very, very big NASDAQ traded tech giants like Monday.com, Wix, and Fiverr. On the other hand, other huge, players in the field like EY and Deloitte, Equinox and Skechers and Glovo and hundreds more. So, like I said, a huge different range of use cases, role types, scenarios, and so on and so forth. We also are integrated now with over 40 ATS integrations, which is a really, really big list. Just an update on this side. So I'm sure that most of you are already working with ATS integrations. We've now released a bunch of advanced integrations, meaning not only can you, of course, send the invitations directly from the ATS, get all the results back into the ATS, but now we can do some very, very smart maneuvers, including moving candidates between different stages based on their score, essentially just allowing us to really automate the workflow. We are really known in the market for being a very holistic skills assessment platform, everything from hard skills, soft skills, AI skills, cognitive and personality. But really, what we specialize in is all around job simulations, work sample tests. So, really giving candidates challenges that closely mimic the role as much as possible. So, whether it be for development, coding, working with SQL, or optimizing a marketing campaign on Excel or answering video questions, really just to give our hiring teams a really holistic evaluation of how candidates are going to do not just one aspect, but all aspects of the job, usually at a very early stage in the hiring process. Not only is this great, of course, for hiring teams because they're able to get a lot of very deep insights early on in the process, but we also get amazing feedback from the candidates, which is really, really important. They feel like, first of all, it was a lot more engaging than other tests they've done in the past, but also they really appreciate the chance to really see what is going to be entailed in the jobs, what kind of things come up, challenges, and so on and so forth. We also are very aware that job simulations work sample tests not only are they the most holistic way to evaluate candidates, but they're also the best predictor for future job performance. This is noted by science, and essentially, it really forces hiring managers to critique the candidate based on their job-ready skills versus any other factor. Now we're getting into the good stuff. So why are we all here? Of course, we're here to talk about AI. It's 2025, very, very soon it'll be 2026. And of course, we at Canditech have been very busy building this suite of AI to make everything a lot more streamlined, powerful than it's ever been before. Firstly, we have AI to help you build tests. So our new AI assessment builder. We'll get into this in the demo, but essentially this is a really, really cool tool to help you build custom tests within seconds. It's essentially a very smart search through our library, which we're adding new sections to every single week. Click a few buttons, upload the URL of the JD, and a custom test will be built for you within minutes. We also are using AI to help you evaluate very, very objectively in a very high scale. So we now have AI scoring available for both open text and video questions. I won't do too many spoilers because I really want to talk about it in the demo, but this is a very, very smart, multi-agented, multifaceted model that's fully customizable, fully editable, and has really been a huge game changer for the clients that we supported in setting this up so far. And I'm hoping many of you will also join us on that journey. We also have, of course, AI built into the platform because it's, nowadays it's becoming increasingly important, not just to see how candidates write code or work with Excel, but also how they're going to be able to work with AI as part of their job. So to really help you evaluate the whole picture. So we have embedded ChatGPT and Google that you can allow your candidates to utilize inside the platform during their tests. Everything is recorded and monitored, so you're going to see all the prompts and really see how candidates can connect with AI and use it to, optimize the work that they're doing. We also have a brand new AI skills catalog within the library, which has many, many ready-to-use sections in terms of proficiency, but also simulations. And we're adding more and more sections to that every single week. So AI to build test, AI to score test, checking candidates' ability to use AI. These are the main tools that we have. Of course, we couldn't be talking about online assessments without talking about cheating prevention tools. There's, lots of different ways that candidates can circumvent or try to circumvent, online assessment platforms. And on one hand, we want to give the candidate the full flexibility to do this in their own space, on their own time, on their own devices. But we also want to make sure that we can give our clients the confidence to be able to accurately rely on those results. So as always, we are monitoring lots of different things simultaneously that essentially are tracking all types of anomalies. So copy paste detection, tab switching detection, IP address tracking, webcam snapshots, question randomization, a whole myriad of tools. And as with everything in Canditech, everything is also 100% customizable, so you can choose what is and is not permitted for your candidates. Time to move on to show you a little bit of the platform and how this works. So I'm going to come over to the screen. I'm sure this is familiar for most of the people on the webinar, but for those who aren't, just very briefly, this is Canditech, super easy to use platform. We're going to the assessments tab in which you're going to be able to see all the active assessments. And what I really want to do is just jump down into a candidate experience. So I want to take you through the candidate experience, how they're going to be able to work with the AI during their tests. We'll then take a look at the results and also how to set up the AI as well. So into the candidate experience we go. This is the branding I'm sure everyone has heard. Don't want to make you hungry just before lunchtime or dinner time, wherever you are tuning in the world. But full branding, logo, background image, very, very slick. We've also got welcome videos. Why I decide to work here? Okay. Next up, the candidate's going to get assessment instructions. Now, with the new AI features, you'll notice if this is something that you're allowing your candidate to use, you'll have additional instructions. So, for example, if you are going to allow your candidates to use the embedded ChatGPT, they're going to get the relevant assessment instruction as always. And we're also always showing the proctoring instructions as well. So the proctoring, the cheating prevention, it's never meant as like a trick or a trap. We're being very transparent at a very early stage and letting the candidate know what is and what's not permitted inside the test. I'm going to just skip through. The system knows I'm Ellie just on my demo account, so it's allowing me to bypass this. And just as a reminder, last year we also integrated our WCAG 2.2 Web Accessibility Compliant plugin. So this is full assistive technology that's going to be available for your candidate to use throughout the process. So as always, we have our test, your logo, your color scheme. We have our 4 sections here, and we always recommend to start the test with scenario-based questions. So it could be it's your first month working at McDonald's. Your hiring manager's gone out of the office. They've asked you to complete this sheet. And first thing we're going to do is essentially check, I guess you could call it the hard skill aspect. Can the candidates work with Excel? Can they do the calculations? But again, in order to simulate the job as much as possible, it's never about just can they write code or SQL or work with Excel. It's also about how they're able to draw a logical conclusion or, suggest action items. And the beautiful thing about this is now with the AI scoring, we're going to be able to evaluate this in a very deep level automatically. So I'm just going to start filling this in. And just as a reminder, let me show you what happens if I am a candidate that is doing something that I absolutely should not be doing. So coming over to an external source, we can call it. Let's go back into the tab. And you see, as a candidate, have a notification. Oops, tab change detected. The hiring team has seen that. So we'll call this a first warning. If I try and do a paste, really try my luck, I'm going to get a similar message. So we have in real-time notifications for the candidates to let them know that it's a clever system, it knows what they're doing, and really not to try and trick the system, so to say. I'm going to skip through this because I'm sure you guys have seen a multiple choice question before, but again, just really good to evaluate candidates' knowledge base coming into the platform. Next up, we have a marketing plan, and just very quickly to remind into a carton of wool. Yeah, not trying to make you all hungry here, but with Canditech, in terms of customization, you can present the candidate with any media, whether it be a video, link, images, screenshots, sound bites, data sets, whatever it is to help you build a test that not only closely mimics the role, but also mimics the role as it is in your organization today. We'll skip through on to some more technical questions. So SQL, tons of sections in the library, all different levels, easy, moderate, hard. You can pick from the library, you can implement your own. And as a candidate, let's say I'm going to start and call the user table. User table will come. Now, if I'm a candidate, I make a mistake, get an error message, and I can correct myself. And as always, we do this because we care about, whether the candidate can solve the actual query rather than if they make a tiny typo. And it's all checked and scored automatically. This is also being recorded. And we always recommend to follow up any kind of coding question, whether it be SQL, Excel, coding, or just generally any other question with a video question. Personally, it's my favorite question type, and it's just always a great opportunity to help you understand candidates' communication skills, articulation, help them solve, another technical question, situational judgment. And again, the beautiful thing now is that you can include as many video questions and open text questions as you like, and everything is going to be checked and scored automatically by our suite of AI agents as well. So as a candidate, I can stop recording. I can review my answer and I can record again, provided I still have time. So this is something you can control how challenging, how easy you want to, allow this to be for your candidates. And just lastly here, we have one of our coding questions. So some more developments that we made. We built in a bunch of new languages. So we now support more languages. And as always, you can choose to give the candidate full flexibility to switch between any language, or you can limit it just to one language. Now, as we know with developers and coding questions, very often now, of course, it's around, their coding skills, but it's also, around how they can work with AI and vibe coding. And so this is what it would look like if you did allow your candidate to use ChatGPT and Google. I'm not going to ask it a technical question. I'm just going to ask it the same question I ask it 10 times a day, every day. Why is the sky blue? And it's popping out an answer. And I'm sure your candidates will be using this for much more developing, much more robust prompts. But the idea here is you can see everything that happens here. You can see all the prompts, all the answers. You're going to see how the candidate is able to take the answers, apply it to the question as well. So you're really getting a very, very deep understanding of how they are able to work with AI in order to help them within their job, as is probably expected within the 2025-2026 role type. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that. All the results come back into the ATS. They also come back into your candidates tab, and we'll take a quick look at what the results are going to look like. So in order to make sure that I'm being as time conscious as possible and getting through as much as we can, here is one I made earlier. So what you're going to see here are things like the score, the section by section score, solving time, etc. And then you can double click and we can take a deeper look and we can see absolutely everything that happened in this candidate session. So the first thing we have is the total score. This is how your candidate did overall in the test, how it compares to others. As always, you've also got your section by section breakdown. So this is really good to help you understand how they did in every area that you wanted to be evaluating the candidate in. This is just going to be visual information. And as always, we also have our proctoring insight. So if you're seeing green, you don't even need to check it. It's all good. If you see a red flag, you can expand it out and you can see what happens. So in this instance, we have suspicious paste. We can play it back and we can see, okay, exactly what was pasted and when. Very obvious. It just, arrives from nowhere. We also have tab switching. So even though we only show the candidate notification one time, we track and monitor and record absolutely everything. So you could see which section the candidate was in, how far into the test time it was when they left, and how long they were out before they returned. So every single instance is going to be tracked here. Moving on, so if you did allow a candidate to use ChatGPT or Google, and you can choose on a per assessment basis, just Google, just ChatGPT, neither or both, you're going to see absolutely everything that happened here. So we have this new section called the Candidate Search Insights. Here we're going to be able to see what section the candidate was in when they used it. We can see all the prompts, all the answers, follow the whole conversation and see absolutely everything that happened there. With the Google, I didn't use the Google search, but you see every single search term they used, how long they were on, how they browsed to the pages. So again, you can really get an understanding of everything that happened here. We've also, as always, got the comments section, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's look into the results. So this is the Excel, and as always, Excel coding SQL. These were always questions that were deterministic questions. So, you can see what they put, what the correct answer was. You have the scoring here. You can also click and open that to see everything in a lot more detail. Here's an open text question, and here's how it used to be. You used to just give a manual score. That was going to update the scoring for the rest of the test. Good, it worked, it was good, but now we can do something a lot better. So I'm going to skip down to the open text down here. Here we have another open text question. The AI has given me, first of all, a 3 out of 5. So you've got a very nice overview here. It's 3 out of 5. And we have this little tab called the AI results. So you can then click that open. And can we see an instance, okay, here we had two different agents that were working simultaneously. We have the custom agent score and we have the language score. Then for each one, I can open that out and I can see what happened. So custom agent score, I got a 3 out of a 5. We'll go into this in a little bit detail when I show the how to set these up, but essentially the custom agents are scorecards for which you're able to set specific rules. So any specific detail, things that you want the candidate to mention, how long you want the text to be, etc. This is your place that you can literally set a 100% custom scorecard. And for every rule that you put here, the system is going to say pass or fail. It will explain the rule. It will explain its logic behind why it provided its score. We also have here a language score. So the language score is one of our pre-built agents. So these are agents that we've trained, we've built. We know how to evaluate at Haskell. You just click a button and the system will do the rest for you. This I got a 4. And what's really good about the language score is it's not just going to give me a score and sort of make me guess why it gave it the score. It's pulled out all the language mistakes. So not only is the AI, it's broken down into the areas for each, it provides its answer and it also provides its rationale. Let's say, really for me, these are spelling mistakes. I want to update that. That's not a problem. You can come and update the score. You can also leave feedback. So, I could say, this is really more of a 5 for me. I'm sure your managers will be giving much more robust feedback, but I just want to show you how this works. So of course, you can edit absolutely anything, you can override everything. And not only that, it also is going to save automatically. You can see what user, what they adjusted the score to and from, and also feedback that they provided. So everything is going to be tracked. Everything is going to have a paper trail as well. Going to move down here, and here again, we have a video. So with the video, again, I can watch the video. But the thing about the AI for the video is that the AI doesn't really watch the video at all. What the AI is doing, it's taking the video is going to transcript, and we're running the AI through the transcript. This is also, by the way, language agnostic, so it works in any language that you're hiring in. And again, we have the breakdown here. In this instance, I just set the language score, and again, I have the 5 stars, and I also have a very strong rationale why it provided me as 5 stars.
Ellie, just jumping in to say
Go
that
for
I
it.
see that there are some questions coming in, and we'll get to them all really soon. But keep sending in questions. We'll definitely address them at the end of this section. You can send them to the Q&A section, and you can send them to me or to Guy in person via chat. So we're seeing them, and we'll definitely get to them soon.
Perfect. Thanks, Talia. And it's good. We love questions. We love an interactive webinar, so that's awesome. How do we set up the AI agents? Really, really great question. Just before I jump into that, I'm just going to give you a very sneak peek of the AI assistant. So this is, like I said, really here to help you build custom assessments within seconds. So we have a bunch of different job titles here. You can just click it or you can just type in your job. From there, it's going to prompt me and say, great, can you give me the URL of the JD? You can just take it from the ATS, paste it in there. From there, it will scrape the information, or you can just start, sending a little bit of information. I need someone who has good Excel skills, attention to detail, critical thinking, whatever it might be. And it's an AI, right? So then it goes to the library. It searches through hundreds of sections, matches it up with millions of data points, and will start bringing you suggested sections, as well as a little summary of what's actually included in the section. And it's an AI, so you can interact with it. You can say, add video questions, make it more difficult, make it shorter, etc. Whenever you're happy, just click the button. Everything is there in your account ready. You can send it straight away, or you can make any customization. So really, really cool feature. We have some very cool developments coming up in 2026, which essentially is going to be able to help you build custom questions from scratch. I'll save that for the new year, but yes, we're always working on new developments there. Let's show you very quickly how you can come and set up your custom AI agents or the other agents that we have. So I'm going to click Create Assessment. We're going to go into the library. As you may know, the library has over 500 sections, writing new sections every single week. So we'll go in here, say I'm hiring for Customer Success Manager. I can go to the library, I can build something from scratch. Let's go to the library first. The library, we've got these different areas, job-specific skills, cognitive, personality, AI skills. This is also new, really, really cool. We've got, AI literacy at all different levels, whether it's junior, mid, or very, very senior, and a bunch of AI simulations requiring the candidate to demonstrate their prompting skills and so on and so forth. Definitely check it out on your account if you haven't already. We've got leadership and management and generic skills. Let's go to customer facing. And we have all the sections. I can see the difficulty level, the time, what question types are included, and a little summary of what's actually being evaluated. So let's go to this one. I'm sure that no one in this webinar ever has any frustrated customers whatsoever, but just in case the occurrence might have that you do, you might want to make sure that someone can handle frustrated customers. So I'm going to add this in just to give me a base. And as always, I can come and customize absolutely everything. Another AI feature that we added to the account recently is this AI assistant. So as always, you can customize everything. You can customize the content, you can change the language, you can add videos, images, etc. You can also use this AI assistant to help you with that. So this is here to help you create or edit content, improve writing, change tone or style, or you can even translate it now into a bunch of languages. So if you are hiring for a language maybe you're not familiar with, it's absolutely no problem. You can translate any section in the library, and you can also set our custom agents to evaluate any language as well. Let's move on. So we have here, deterministic question. We have here an open text question. Let's say I'm generally happy with this, but I really want to add my own question. So I'm going to come down here. Here are all the different question types we support. Let's say I wanted to add an open text question. So let's just be a little vague here. So the customer mentioned X, Y, and Z. Please explain how you would respond. Okay, I'm sure your questions will be much better than this. Um, from here, I can come and move to this brand new tab, AI auto scoring. And here are going to be the options that we have. So the first option we have here are pre-built agents. So like I said, these are agents that our team have built. They're already in your account. You can start using them. And they know how to evaluate a very, very deep skill. Currently, we have three. We're going to be adding a lot more on very, very soon. The first one we have is language proficiency. So this is going to test candidates' grammar, spelling, vocab, etc. You can click that and you can, of course, do it in English or pretty much any other language. And I can tell you we have some clients that are using this feature in very, very far, like a very low used dialects or very uncommon languages, and it works amazingly. So I'm just click English for now. It's the only language that I know how to speak. We also have these two custom agents, which can also be really, really good. So this is conflict resolution, so for any customer support roles, customer success roles, and objection handling, which is great for sales roles. So I could just use one, or I could say I want this one and that one. So you can layer them. You can use them one at a time, or you can layer them together. The next thing we have is build the custom agent. So this is the opportunity for you to build a very, very robust, customized, essentially custom AI scorecard. And it works like I was saying by rules. So I could say, okay, my first rule, I want to make sure that the answer mentions company policy. Rule one. Then I could say I want to make sure that the answer mentions billing data, and so on and so forth. And these are just one-line roles. You can get very, very advanced roles that are up to like 100 lines. And this is something that, of course, our team are working very closely with our clients to support, help you get these set up along with our PhD expert psychometricians or AI experts within the team. So they'll be able to work with you to make sure that we're setting up the most robust custom agents. We'll get into it also in later in the presentation, but it's really important that you're being very specific and providing as much content as possible and context for the AI as well. The last option we have is provide sample answers. So this is great for, really for high volume roles. What this means is if you already have an assessment in your account that up until now this was something that your team were manually grading, what you can do is just now click a button and everything will go to your sample answers. So this works off a similarity model. You can say this is a 5-star, this is a 5-star, this is a 3-star, this is a 2-star, and then from then the AI will start sort of marking the responses that are coming in based on the provided sample answers. So the more examples, the better with this. And again, this is all something that we can really help you get set up. So I'm just going to go back into the presentation and we're going to move on and just talk a little bit about how we can make sure that we're really setting up AI in the best way possible. So, of course, when it comes to accuracy and fairness, especially when we're using AI, the number one question is how can we make sure that the AI is not being biased, right? And nobody wants to have a biased process. It's called the unconscious bias for a reason. I don't think anyone is consciously biased. However, we are human. And actually, AI, when set up for success and when used correctly, can really ensure and improve accuracy and fairness within the hiring process. And this is something that, when we started to develop our AI features, it was the number one concern for us was making sure that we build a model that is very robust and takes a lot of things into consideration to ensure that it is fair and that you're giving your candidates real, standardized process that's very objective. How do we do this? Well, there's a myriad of different things, but three main ways which we can really ensure this. So, number one, all of our AI technology is multi-agented, meaning it's not just one person's opinion or two people's opinion. It is hundreds of AIs having a simultaneous conversation around your candidate's specific answer, almost like an instantaneous little committee. They're all convening, they're coming back with an answer that they essentially agree on, and they're providing their rationale why. So, multi-agented AI is going to have lots of different AIs all providing its responses. So again, it's just a really good measure to make sure everything is very, very standardized. The second thing is the AI is completely blind to the candidate's age, the candidate's gender. It doesn't know what university the candidate went to. It doesn't know what jobs they had in the past, who they worked with, etc. And so the AI is only critiquing the candidate's answer based on the scorecard that you've given versus any other factor. There's no influence. And again, it's unconscious bias. We don't even know that we're doing it, but we are human. The AI is absolutely it doesn't even know any of these things. It just sees the question and the answer and the scorecards. The last thing is that the AI is reviewing every single answer individually. The AI doesn't know how the candidate performed in other parts of the test. It doesn't know what question they answered before. And so what we're doing with that is we're really reducing the unconscious halo effect, meaning if you have a candidate coming through the process and maybe they did an amazing, first interview and you really want to work with them in your team, maybe in their second interview, you might have this, unconscious halo effect that, their first one was great. And so their second one is going to be great. Or maybe a candidate, completed a coding question. The coding question was amazing and they really loved the answer. And maybe the follow-up question wasn't so good. It was okay, but you really want them to progress them in the process because their first answer was so good. And so this is something, again, as humans, we are susceptible to doing unconsciously, but the AI looks at every single thing from a completely level playing field. It doesn't know what happened previously, how they did in the other test. Every single answer is taken as its own individual, response. Another thing that is really important is to make sure that we are setting up the AI agents in the best way possible. And again, this is something that our team are more than happy and have been loving getting involved with supporting our clients so far and getting this set up. The main thing is that, first of all, you can use our pre-built agents. Like I said, these are agents that are already set up for you. You can just click a button and the agents will then start, evaluating your candidates. We have 3 and we've got a lot more coming in soon as well. The second thing, if you are going to be using the custom scorecard agents, is to really make sure that we are training the model with a lot of clarity and providing as much detail as we can. So I like to think of the analogy, let's say I'm going out to the street, I'm going to gather 10 people that I see, and I'm going to ask them to come and help me evaluate the candidates for for the role that I'm hiring for. They don't necessarily know anything about my company. They don't know anything really about the role. They really don't know anything about what they're supposed to be evaluating. And so my job here is to build a scorecard that is essentially going to ensure that all 10 reviewers are going to be able to evaluate candidates and that they wouldn't have any different answers. So what does this look like in practically setting the AI custom agents? Well, first of all, it means being very specific with what we're telling the AI to score. So generally speaking, one rule, one clear checker. So the proposal includes the launch date, not the proposal includes this and that and that. So it includes this, it includes that. That is a much more robust way to ensure that it's, really evaluating everything that needs to be evaluated. The second thing is to really focus on observable, tangible content or behaviors. So whether you're looking for a specific phrase, AKA this would be acceptable, that would be acceptable, rather than sort of sweeping, vague terms like the candidate shows empathy towards the customer. Second thing, again, is to really avoid subjectivity. So instead of saying, the answer was written clearly, or the email made sense, the email was well written, we could say the email contains an informal sign off, or the email contains a tangible CTA. Or another thing is also ensuring that we're giving the AI all the context really that it needs, because if we remember, the AI doesn't know what the questions were before. It doesn't know that, we have a whole section and the last questions were based on this. So we need to provide, context for the AI as well. So instead of, the candidate identified the candidate identified the bug, which is X, Y, and Z, or the candidate made the recommendation to pause the campaign on Q4, and so on and so forth. Lastly, another very important, I've gone backwards by mistake. Here we go. Another very, very important thing, of course, is to ensure that the human is always kept in the loop. AI is an amazing tool as a decision supporter. It's not the decision maker. So AI is amazing to help us evaluate more candidates, right? Open up the pool, evaluate more candidates in a much more objective and fair way. That being said, we still, of course, recommend that there is always a human in the loop, a human to review and make sure that the AI is providing the scoring along the lines as the human review. And this is also something that, when you start to get results in, we can share it with our team. Our team will be able to work with you in order to make sure that we're always optimizing the agent, we're always optimizing the results and giving you, the evaluation, the level of evaluation that you need. There's never a replacement for the human or the personal touch when it comes to face-to-face interviews, but also review as well. And so the AI is there to help us facilitate being able to give that personal touch to the candidates that have already demonstrated their job ready skill, rather than it being, a guessing game based on, CV and so on and so forth. I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for your time. We'll move into Q&A in just a wee second. This is a scan code. It's a barcode. So if you guys have any questions, you want to talk about setting up the AI within your account, you want to talk about anything really to do with AI or just generally the platform in general, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You can scan there to find my meeting link. You can book in some time directly, or you can reach out to your dedicated account manager. But yeah, we're loving the journey so far with our clients. We learned a lot. We're having a lot of fun with it, and our clients that have already been implementing it have very, very amazing results so far. And we would love to be able to really just share this with all the users that we have, make sure that everyone is really making the most out of Canditech. So I'm going to stop sharing for now, and we will go to some of the questions. So one of the questions here, is the AI grading feature automatic on all assessments, or can it be manually turned off? So this is a great question. So I'm sure people will probably be sick of hearing me say this, but absolutely everything in Canditech is 100% customizable. So that means you choose the questions, you choose the branding, you choose the cheating preventions, but you can also choose whether the AI scoring is set for this question, this test, and so on and so forth. So it might be that for some of your questions you do want the AI scoring, in which case you can set that up in all the different ways that we just showed you. But for this question, you'd really prefer a manual reading. So you can choose on a per question basis what you do want the AI to be scoring for and what you don't want the AI to be scoring for. A second question, is there a way to limit the ChatGPT access by question or section instead of it turning on for the entire assessment? So for now, we have it on a per assessment basis. You can turn it on for this assessment and off for that assessment, although something that I've been helping some of our clients that wanted a similar situation, that the candidate didn't use it for this one, but did use it for this one, is to invite the candidate. So it's all about communication. It's all about letting the candidate know in the invitation email, you will be given the opportunity to use ChatGPT for this section. However, for this section, we really want to see your own working. And what that means is, the copy paste detection, the tab switching detection. This is going to capture anything that is used outside of the ChatGPT that you have. And so you'll still be able to make sure that candidates are using it when permitted, but that they're not using it, or that it's going to capture any use of it that's not been permitted throughout the test. I'm just looking at another question here. Can you set up AI scoring for the tests we currently use in the company? Yes, absolutely. So this is something that, of course, we've been helping a lot of our clients transition to. So up until very recently, all of the open text and video was, checked and scored manually. And it's really good because now we have like a really good bank of, questions that have been manually scored. And this is really helpful for our team to be able to implement that, really understand what it is that the hiring managers are grading, and then implement that into the AI scoring in a model that is mimicking doing the same job, as a human, but of course in a fraction of time. So yes, that's absolutely something that we can do and have been doing. And if you want to, you can please reach out to your account manager. We'd be happy to set up a call and help you get set up with that. Um, Got another question here. Google search, is Google search including Gemini AI mode? So for now, the answer is no. It's just a Google search for now. That being said, when it comes to Google and also ChatGPT, although those are just the ones that we have currently in the platform, the idea is to evaluate more broadly candidates' ability to work with AI models, not specifically around, this model or that model. So it's all about the candidates' prompting skills, understand that they can really recognize what are the benefits of using AI, but also what are the risks, what are the limitations. Maybe they're working with the data, but they need to clean the data set. So it's really just get an understanding of how candidates, what their mindset is when it comes to being able to work, and also use AI to, of course, help them within their role. Um, I've got another question here. So, at what stage do you recommend sending the test to the candidate? So, this is a great question. So, I hate to answer a question like this and say it really depends, but most of our clients, so we have clients that send, their assessment as the first stage. We have clients that send at a much later stage. I can tell you that most of our clients are using it as a secondary stage. So, typically, it comes after a telephone screen, except now this telephone screen, instead of being 30 minutes, it can get reduced to 10, 15 minutes, and really the role is not to evaluate candidates, it's just to do an initial sort of communication with the candidate, letting them know, amazing, I'm going to send you a test. It's a chance for you to check out some things that are going to be coming up in the role. Candidates do their test and then they're letting the test do the talking. So the reason why that works so well is that you're really placing less weighting on the resume, less weighting on the CV, and more weighting on the candidate's job ready skills. But because you're having an assessment that's standardized, it's fair, it's objective, you're able to start the process with a lot more candidates and very quickly see out of that, who are the candidates that are the best chances to succeed in the role, and prioritize your candidate that way rather than any other factor. And something we hear a lot is I wouldn't have hired this candidate if it just been in their CV, or they really only had 1 year. Usually we ask for 2 years plus, but the results were amazing and we hired them and they're amazing. So it can also help you really identify hidden gems within your candidate pool and make sure you're not really missing any top talent in there as well. I have another question here. Do you have an AI score based on their job description? I.e., a score for sales is 80%. So what we don't have, okay, the AI score is 80% and that's for sales, but what we do have is, a combination of job simulations at all different levels, whether it's SDR, BDR, closing calls, discovery calls, and so on and so forth. And the AI can really help you evaluate that. And within the test results, you can see how the candidate did overall, but you can also see how they did for every individual section. So for this, we're going to be able to see, okay, and using the power of AI, we can now evaluate the whole test and score the whole test automatically. And very quickly, you're going to be able to see, okay, this candidate scored really, really high within the sales sections that we gave them. And so that's really the best indicator that we can give you in terms of future job performances. How did the candidate practically handle challenges that closely mimic the job as much as possible? And always our slogan is to really see how candidates are going to do the job before they get the job. And usually, it can just be one aspect. With Canditech, because the platform is super robust and it's got lots of holistic different question types and scenarios, it doesn't have to be just one part of the job. You can really look at candidates on a much more holistic basis, and see how they're going to do all different elements of the job, to give you a really good evaluation, usually very early in the hiring process. I've got another question here. So how long should a test take? Again, it really, really depends. So Generally speaking, the rule is usually the for early careers, for junior roles, usually the test is a little bit on the more lengthy side, and for more seniors, it's usually a little bit on the shorter side. It's all about balance. How much do we want to evaluate, how deeply we want to evaluate, and how long do we want the test to be? I would say on average around 40 minutes tends to be a good benchmark. That being said, we have clients that have tests for an hour and a half. I think as long as the communication is clear, as long as the candidates understand the why behind it, we have lots of candidates that happily complete very, very long tests and we get great feedback from them. That being said, this is all something that our team, your account manager, our dedicated team of PhD holding expert psychometricians are able to work with our clients on a one-to-one basis, understand the role, understand what are the key things you're looking to evaluate. We can also help you make sure that the tests are, staying within a certain benchmark or a time period that you want. So this is always something that our team are really, really happy to help and consult and work with you on. But yeah, it really just depends on the role and how much you want to evaluate. Another question here, how do we prevent cheating? So, of course, this is always the question, right? How do we make sure that I can give the candidate the flexibility to do this test on their at home on their own device? And how do I know that they're not, just Googling or using ChatGPT? And this is something that is a huge focus, of course, in our R&D and development, and it's constantly improving. But essentially it's all about, copy paste detection, tab switching detection, IP address tracking, webcam snapshots. We're implementing question randomization. We would also always recommend to, follow up with a video question because if someone didn't really know how to answer the question, they're not then going to be able to come to a camera and explain, what they would do if this happened or how they might explain this to someone new on the team. So essentially, the cheating prevention tools are just monitoring any kind of anomaly. And of course, if the test was very, very high score, but the time was relatively low, then we're also going to be able to flag that in the account. So lots of different things all together. Um, and do I have any best practices for coding questions? So I would say coding questions. First of all, we have all the coding questions we have are compatible with all the languages we support. So if there's a specific language that you really want to evaluate the candidates in, I would definitely recommend to put that language as the only option. And that way the candidate is really going to showcase that they're demonstrating that as well. We also just for you to know, have a really, really cool section in the AI skills library, which is all around vibe coding. So the candidate is given a coding question, but they are set to answer in a language that they're probably not familiar with. They're given the opportunity to use the embedded ChatGPT, but if they do that, they're not going to get the answer. And so they really have to combine their critical thinking skills, their problem solving skills, and their coding knowledge, along with using AI, so vibe coding, in order to solve. So it's really, really good. And I would also always recommend to follow up with a video question to understand logical conclusion, understand communication style tips. It's all about understanding not just if the candidate can do it, but also the logical, the business conclusion, their situational judgment, and so on and so forth. I think we will just wrap up now if there's no more questions for now, but I really wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about the AI skills in Canditech. I can tell you that 2026 is going to be another huge year of new features and functionalities. And so watch this space. And again, if you have any questions about setting up the AI for your account, you want to talk more about, setting up for particular tests or just moving into that, please reach out to your team, to your account manager, to myself. Be more than happy to make sure that you have all the information, all the tools that you need to really get the most out of the account.
Ellie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for, the demo and for answering any questions. And like Ellie said, please feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, we're here to help you and we're here to make your Canditech experience amazing and to give you the insights you're looking for so you can make the best hiring decisions. So I think until next time, which hopefully will be soon because we love doing webinars with our community. Yeah, so until next time, we'll see you soon and we look forward to hearing from you via email or on a call. So we'll talk soon. Thank you everyone so much for your time and for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank
All right. Bye, Ellie. Thank you.